Friends, this is the CRS tool, which is free, and you can find this on the government website. The link will be there in the description. So once you come to this tool, as a Canadian experience class person, you'll be able to see what your score is going to be. And again, one thing you need to note is that this tool is intended solely for general guidance and reference purpose. So only when you enter your profile into Express Entry, I made a separate video on how you enter the detail. So you can check that video. Once you're there and you have submitted all the required information, only then the score what you get is valid. So you can read this part. But this tool, right, will help you if you're preparing for the language proficiency test or you have to get your credentials done. You still know where you will stand once you get this score is shown. So to start with, you select the marital status. For example, you are single, so you will choose from this never married or single. How old are you? You will select from this list what your age is, say 27 years. And then once you come down here, what is your level of education? Earned a Canadian degree, diploma or certificate, or has a education credential assessment. So again, education credential assessment, if you have studied outside of Canada, then Canada needs to know what is your education qualification equivalent to in terms of Canadian education. So once you get that credential, you will be able to fill this part, assuming that you have a Canadian degree, diploma or certificate and this education credential. So what do you have? In case you have a master's from Canada, you select this, okay? Or say you did your bachelor's elsewhere and you did your another degree here in Canada, and depending on that, you have this credential. So you select the option, for example, this option. So once you make the selection, you come down here. Have you earned a Canadian degree, diploma or certificate? Again, these are the criterias. You can go through this and then you can respond your answer as yes, or once this is done, then you choose the best answer to describe this level of education. So this is Canadian degree, diploma or certificate. So depending on what you got, you make that selection. 1 or 2 year diploma or certificate, degree, diploma or certificate of 3 year or longer, or master, professional or doctorate degree of at least 1 year academic year. For example, you make this selection 1 or 2 year diploma or certificate, then you will be required to give the official language detail. In case the first language you're choosing here as English, so English or French are the only option. So depending on what you choose, your test result need to be less than 2 year old. So you have to make that selection, okay, which means you need to have the test result. Even if you don't have, you will get to know what your score will be if you target the highest score band. For example, I select yes here and select IELTS in this case or CELPIP in this case. Let's select CELPIP, and this CELPIP here it shows, say you get the highest band, that is 10 to 12. Say you get 10, listening you get 10, reading you get 10, and writing you get 10. You will get the highest language point. So this has to be your target if you want to get a better point. That way you can target and you see if you target this score, how much point you will get, or whatever the target is, you can select that part and you will see the result accordingly. Do you have other language result? If you have, well and good. So in this case, these are the two options. In case you have French, you can select that part and then you select the score what you have. For example, here we select the score what is there, or just say not applicable. Let's see what happens. Then comes the work experience part. In the last 10 years, how many years of skilled work experience in Canada do you have? So again, this is Canadian experience class which I'm showing. In that case, the National Occupation Classification, which is the official list, and it describes the education, experience and responsibility, that is TEER. So you will select based on that your option. For example, I'm selecting 3 years, and in last 10 years, how many total year of foreign skilled work experience do you have? Must be paid full-time or equal amount in part-time and in only one occasion. That is the NOC what is given. So from this, I'm selecting 3 or more years. And then coming down, do you have a certificate of qualification from Canadian province, territory or federal body? If you have, you make that selection. If not, just select no. And then do you have a valid job offer supported by labor market impact assessment? In this case, the details are given here. Read this. If you have, you select yes. If not, no. Do you have nomination certificate from province or territory? Selecting no again here. Do you or your spouse or common law partner, if they will come with you to Canada, have at least one brother or sister living in Canada who is a citizen or permanent resident? And then this criteria meets. I'm selecting no here. If you have, you select yes. And then once all these things are done, you click on calculate your score. So instantly you get this express entry score based on what you have given input as the total score. Now with this score, if you look at the previous draw, you will see what the trend is. For example, we are talking about the Canadian Experience class. So the last draw, which happened on August 14, had the lowest score as 509. Before that, the Canadian Experience class had 510, and then before that 550. So you know what the trend has been over last few draw and what your score is. That way you know where you stand in competition, whether you will get the invitation to apply or you need to work on improving some areas where you can get some additional point. Again, I'll not go into much specific detail because that's going to confuse you. This tool is a free tool and you must use it to plan how you're going to improve your score if need be. And only when you enter your express entry profile, you give your education credential detail, you give all the detail what is required and you submit, and the point what you get, that is the actual point which is considered. But if you use this tool right and you see the score what you get, almost identical score you will get when you submit your profile, provided everything is right. So friends, there are other videos on how you create express entry profile, how you submit application and all of those. I hope you find these videos useful. Please like, share and subscribe, and thanks for watching.